Hello all, this is Dr. Dave Maslach talking to you about reciprocity.com. The E is written with a 3, and in this particular video I really wanted to give you some tips for freelance proofreading and creating your own proofreading business. I'm a professor of innovation, strategy, and entrepreneurship, and part of the reason I want to give these tips out is I just want to be as helpful and sort of be as of service as much as I possibly can to help you out with anything that goes on in this particular area. So I'm creating this sharing economy proofreading platform, Reciprocity. You can imagine what reciprocity means. It's sort of this thing where you actually just give as freely as you possibly can with, not really expecting anything in return, but eventually some stuff actually comes back to you in return. That's kind of the goal of why I'm doing all of these particular videos, is to help as many people as I possibly can, because I don't have no idea who it's going to help or what it's going to do, but I just want to be helpful. So what are some of these tips in terms of creating your own particular business? Now, again, this really can be applied to many different areas, but I'm sort of focusing on the proofreading side of it because of this reciprocity project. So the first one is don't be afraid of giving away some of your service or giving away your proofreading or copy editing, whatever it is you're looking at and trying to create. Don't be afraid to give a little bit of it away, right? So what do I mean by that, and why am I doing that? Well, you can think of it's called a marketing funnel is really what I'm trying to get you to think of. And what you're trying to do is expand the possible client base that you have that are willing to sort of be interested in the services that you provide. And eventually, so maybe you give away your proofreading services, a little bit of it away to 10 different people. Well, there's going to be 5 people that actually like what you're going to do, and then they're going to come back because they understand the quality of what you're doing. They're going to come back and actually purchase that from you. So then you have 5 clients. Then of those, one of those is going to be sort of a repeat customer that's going to keep coming back, and it's actually going to generate you sort of long-time income over the long haul. And what you're trying to do is just grow this client base. So a lot of major companies do this all the time, right? So this is a really big thing with Google, for example. That's why search is free. This is a really big thing with Costco. That's why you get free samples. Most major businesses give some sort of thing away for free to get you in the door so that you feel comfortable with the particular quality and service that you have. And, I kind of built that into the reciprocity platform, but, you can go ahead and do that yourself as well. The second thing is focus on being of service as much as you possibly can, right? So get out there and just be of service. Think about different ways that you can help out other people. And think about when you're proofreading or copy editing their work that you are thinking of different ways that you can help them out. And maybe it might be thinking about different color schemes for a particular, the cover of the book or whatever it is that you're doing, that you're just thinking of trying to be as much service as possible along the way. And that's going to help you out a long ways, because you're kind of changing the mindset of you just strictly sort of, going through and checking words and things like that to, I'm going to actually take this seriously and be of service to somebody else. It's a really big mindset change. The third thing is to create checklists for your proofreading or your proofreading business that you're trying to create, right? So whenever you're doing sort of freelance proofreading, whatever sort of service you're using, maybe you're using it on Upwork or wherever, what you want to do is just make sure that you create different checklists. So I study learning and how organizations learn and how people learn over time. And one of the big things that we've learned over the last 20 years is that checklists are an extremely valuable tool to reduce errors. So, for example, pilots use them. It's become a really important part of in nuclear power plants, any place that's sort of safety critical or that you have to reduce errors as much as possible. And so that's what you're trying to do with proofreading, is you're trying to reduce errors as much as possible. So having these checklists are really helpful. I'm going to eventually build this into the reciprocity platform But it's a work in progress. So the fourth thing is just know that things are going to take a long time. With your own freelance proofreading business that you're trying to create, it's going to take an extremely long time before things actually start working out for you. Whether you're lucky and everything kind of works out for you at the get-go, and it sort of is a full-time gig from you from the beginning, well, you probably had contacts, first of all, if that happened, or you're just really, really lucky. But just know it's going to take a long time. So if you're, a mom or dad that's staying at home and working and kind of doing this on the side, it's going to take a long time before anything actually starts panning out. I'm talking, maybe a year or two before anything starts really panning out for you with providing particular gigs and things like that. It just takes a while. And you have to be okay with that, right? So it's not something that you're going to make a lot of money off at the beginning, but eventually it'll become a viable business. And one way you could speed this up is just go out and sort of dig up clients and things like that. And the fifth thing that's important to think about is when you create your own proofreading business, or any business, whenever you're creating and you're doing kind of an entrepreneurial thing, just really start with a small project. Start really small and start kind of building up from there, building your capabilities from there. You're not going to get a lot of really big things at the beginning. You might be very fortunate that you get maybe somebody's or novel editing or something like that, or maybe you get to proofread or do some dissertation editing, for example, for a particular dissertation of a friend of yours. You might be lucky to get these jobs at the beginning, but most of the time it's not going to be that way, and you have to be very okay with doing small jobs and sort of building that up as you go. That's totally fine. And that's what you should be aiming at, and building that competency until it actually starts growing and developing from there. So hopefully these tips for freelance proofreading and sort of building your own proofreading business, hopefully they're really useful for you. They do apply to many different businesses as well, but I was trying to focus in on the proofreading side and editing side as much as I possibly can. So that's all I wanted to talk about. Take care. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye.